So Conor Benn wins a 12-round UD over Peter Dobson. There's a lot of people saying that Conor Benn has lost his power, obviously insinuating that PEDs were the reason that he was knocking people out previously. But other people are saying, no, it's got nothing to do with that. It's down to the fact that Chris Algieri and Chris Van Heerden were totally washed up. Whereas the last two guys he fought are not washed up. They might not be elite level opponents, but they're bigger than Van Heerden and Chris Algieri, and they're both tough guys. Neither one of them has ever been stopped. Both were noticeably bigger than Conor Benn, particularly the Mexican he fought before Dobson. For me, the jury's out on the whole situation as far as whether Conor Benn has lost his power or not. All I can tell you is what I've seen in Benn's last two fights does not look like a world beater. He does not look like someone that would be a threat to Terence Crawford or Boots Ennis. Conor Benn is quite fast, he's athletic, but there's a looseness and there's a sloppiness to his movement and his work. There's a raggedness to it. His stance and his boxing construct just doesn't look very solid to me. He doesn't have that poise that elite level fighters typically have. And so obviously what I'm implying is that he doesn't look like an elite fighter to my eyes. Can he become one in future? He'd need to improve a lot based upon what I'm seeing. And perhaps that's exactly why Eddie Hearn has been so keen on doing this fight with Chris Eubank Jr., 2 weight divisions up from where Conor Benn fights. Because maybe he doesn't have any confidence that Conor Benn stands any chance at all against Boots Ennis or Terence Crawford. So he's in a weird place in his career, Conor Benn. It's like his promoter wants to cash him out already. The Eubank fight pays a lot more than a Crawford fight or a Boots Ennis fight. That's why he's so keen on that one. And based upon what I've seen of Conor Benn in his last 2 fights, I would make Eubank Jr. a heavy favorite against him. Heavy favorite. This guy's saying he's going to knock out Eubank Jr. in 4 rounds. I mean, he never came close to knocking out Peter Dobson, who's a much smaller man than Eubank Jr., much less experienced, much less talented, not as strong, not as athletic. Anything can happen in boxing, but the likelihood is he would not be knocking out Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. I think Peter Dobson was a little overwhelmed early on by the speed and the work rate of Benn. Not so much the power, because I didn't think that Peter Dobson looked hurt at any point, at least not to the head. But Conor Benn was like a bundle of energy bouncing around the ring. And it took a while for Dobson to find his timing and adjust. But when he did by the mid-rounds, he started landing some good shots. Again, nothing that hurt Conor Benn, but there were some clean ones going in there. Not enough for him to win the majority of the rounds and get a decision. Got no issue with Conor Benn getting his hand raised at the end. He definitely deserved it, but that was not a spectacular performance. I'm not saying it was a terrible performance, but the bar is so high at 147 pounds at world level, and you have to measure Conor Benn against that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you thought Conor Benn looked fantastic against Peter Dobson and he's ready for Boots Ennis and Crawford right now. Whatever the case may be, let me know.